and Nursing Europe. Let me introduce the folks on the dais here. To my right is Mr. Suresh Kalpati. He is the chairman and executive director of Veranda Learning. Next to him is Mr. Rajiv. He is one of the co-founders of Nursing Europe. To his right, extreme corner, is Mr. Tommy. He is the one of the CEO and co-founder of Nursing Europe. We are going to share with you where Veranda and Nursing Europe are exploring a partnership opportunity for skilling for the world, especially in the healthcare sector. But before we start, we'll hand over the mic to Mr. Suresh Kalpati to share the context, share the background. Then we have a small brief presentation for you, and then we'll go into Q&A. So over to you, Suresh.
Thank you. I will sit and talk if it's okay. So this is part of a larger initiative, what we call as skilling in India for the world. All of us have known what we did with software services, which started around the year 2000, and a lot of work into India. And today India provides a significant part of software services that happens worldwide. There are other sectors that have taken off, where India is contributing in terms of people, human resources, whether offshore or on-site, in being able to serve the demands in the world. Skilling in India for the world is an initiative in Veranda, which is a new vertical that we want to focus and build out. And the first initiative that we wanted to look at was to look at nursing. I'll give some background and I'll give some larger mega trends that we think will create significant demand and our ability along with our potential partners to be able to serve this. Over the last, I would say 25-30 years, two distinct things have happened. The longevity worldwide has gone up. This is across underdeveloped to developing to developed economies. The longevity has gone up, advances in medicine, advances in surgical procedures, in pharmaceutical, which has enabled the longevity to significantly go up. The longevity has moved up by almost 30% in the last 30 years. Essentially, it means people are living longer. The second one that has happened is in terms of the population, hence aging. That has largely been driven by birth rates having fallen across the world. People are a lot more comfortable having very nuclear families, single child, probably no child at all. And that also meant that there wasn't any new addition to the workforce or to the population. So it also meant not just longevity, but it also meant the median age of the population was going up more and more and more. The world population was aging. And that has essentially happened in the last 30 years. Various projections have been made because as people age, they are also becoming more frail. Whether we call it senior care, but people need assistance that can be provided through an ability to provide nursing staff. This has happened across the world. The demand projected is expected to be of the order of a crore and a half over the next 7 to 10 years. And India being a place which contributes to close to 15% of the world's population, obviously becomes one of the potential sources that could stand up and deliver to this demand. This is the first initiative that we have looked at as part of skilling in India for the world. And we wanted to be sure that as we approached it, we leverage on our core strengths and work with a potential partner who will be able to significantly complement so that together we can be able to meet this demand in an efficient and also in a manner at scale. People that I have interacted with in the past, we have always looked at opportunities where we can actually make a difference and not just be an also ran. This demand is significantly large. India as a nation will have the ability to be able to meet this demand if many such partnerships come. I'm not so sure if we are the only ones who will be able to meet, but many such partnerships can come. And from whatever I see, that this is an effort that can not just deliver to the demand, but it will also mean significant opportunity to build the national and domestic product, and significantly partners who come together can also be quite profitable as a venture. So, you know, for us, Nursing EU was a fantastic partner. We're still exploring ways in which we can work together. It's a complete complement to the services that we can provide and how we can jointly meet the demand.
For a student, starting at schools, ending at colleges, ensuring that we are touching the lives one student at a time at every stage of the journey of a learner. This is the newest initiative where we have started the work on, which, as Suresh mentioned, is about skilling in India for the world. And the first sector being the healthcare sector, and among the healthcare sector, the first focus is working on ensuring that we skill the nurses for the world, and starting with the European Union, with potential partner like Nursing Europe. So the biggest advantage India has is people. With 1.4 billion people, a demographic dividend of a young population, we all talk about India being the hub for talent.
7 to 800 million, right? It's half of the size of India. Looking at Norway, which is a northern part of Europe, 5.5 million people in population. It's like a building in Mumbai. So looking at those numbers, it doesn't seem correct to say that it's a lack of nurses, etc. Looking at numbers of nurses per thousand in Norway is 14.8, and India it's less than 2 per thousand. So it's a very unbalanced. However, because the cultures, the way of actually structuring the healthcare sectors, that's making the demands, right? So currently in Europe, it's about 1.5 to 2 million nurses are lacking currently. So that gives us the opportunity side. Looking at the numbers and the experience that we've built up. So Tommy started 15 years back in Norway, looking into the shortage, because it's nothing new. It's been there, but it's no one who's tackled it in a correct way. So looking into European markets, we've been testing to recruit within the European market, which is basically, like Tommy says, it's like fishing in the same pond, right? You're not solving an issue. Solving an issue is to actually do the skill development, actually to add more into the pipeline, not fishing from the same pond. So looking into Europe, we had to look outside. First option was Ukraine, where we started training. It's more than 350 nurses that we've trained into the European certification program, which Aditya mentioned. That will give the nurse a flexibility to work anywhere in Europe, which is also something unique. So there's no one having, as far as we know, doing it at that extent, where they actually have a European certification, they have full freedom to work anywhere in Europe, and also to bring that same knowledge and experience elsewhere in the world as well. So Focus Care Group is the largest staffing company, which Tommy established in 2008. Going into staffing, having the lack of resources, and then going into training and upskilling, and then actually tapping into the market. We see that we've just built the base to actually scale it up. So utilizing that
one, and that is Norway is not paradise. I always started there. And most countries in Europe are weaker countries, more or less. So what we can promise that we can promise everyone a shock. Our job is just to make that shock bearable. That's what we do. And we have a saying in Norway, and this is quite important and a good saying. I mean, that's what keeps us out of mental hospitals. We say that there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothes. So we will work very, very hard on preparing. It's basically blunt honesty take you quite far. As long as we just have expectation management, I think that it's in the mindset. As long as you're prepared, as well prepared as we can do, and the rest is up to you. And what you've seen so far, coming from Spain also, from southern part of Spain to Norway, is not a walk in the park. And they're practical. And of course, we're talking about Norway. Norway is the extreme. The Scandinavian countries are the extreme. All other countries that's nothing compared to Norway. And Norway will be one of the smallest markets that we will cater to, for us being just 5.5 million people.
மாணவர் மத்தியில் ரீச் ஆகிற அளவு ஷார்ட்டாக
Veranda வந்து இன்னைக்கு வந்து ஒரு நார்வேஜியன் கம்பெனியோட ஒரு பார்ட்னர்ஷிப் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ணுறோம். இது வந்து எங்களோட ஸ்கில்லிங் இன் இந்தியா, பட் ஒரு உலகத்தோட டிமாண்டுக்கு சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை பண்ணுற மாதிரி ஹவு டு டூ த ஸ்கில்லிங் இன் இந்தியா. இது வந்து மாணவர்கள் மத்தியில் வரவேற்கக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயமா இருக்கும். இப்போ நம்ம பேசுகிறது வந்து ஒரு 10 லட்சம் கூட இல்லை, ஒரு 1 கோடிக்கு மேலே டிமாண்ட் இருக்குது. இது வந்து உலகத்தில் இருக்கிற பாப்புலேஷனுக்கு வயசு கூடிக்கிட்டு போகுது. நிறைய பேர் இப்போ நிறைய நாள் இருக்காங்க. முன்னாடி 50 வயசு ஒரு எக்ஸ்பெக்டட் லைஃப்னால் இப்போ வந்து 80 வயசு ஆயிடுச்சு. ஸோ நிறைய பேர் வந்து ஒரு சீனியர் கேர் ஃபெசிலிட்டி, ஹோம் ஃபார் த ஏஜட், நம்ம வேரியஸ் விதமாக கூப்பிடுறோம் அது. ஸோ அவங்கள கேர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு உலக ரீதியில் நிறைய டிமாண்ட் இருக்குது. இது வந்து கோடிக்கணக்கில் இருக்குன்னு உலகத்தில் WHO வந்து அவங்களோட டேட்டா படி இது வந்து ஒரு கோடியில் 1.5 கோடி வரையும் டிமாண்ட் இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இது சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை பண்ணாது ஒரு இந்தியாவிலேருந்து தான் வரணும். நம்ம உலகத்தில் 5% பாப்புலேஷன் இந்தியாவிலேருந்து வருது. இதுக்கு நம்மள மாதிரி ஒரு கம்பெனி எஜுகேஷனில் இருக்கிறவங்க, நார்வேயில் அவங்க வந்து ரொம்ப பெயர் பெற்ற கம்பெனி இந்த நர்சிங் இந்த ஃபீல்டில், 2 பேரும் சேர்ந்து இதை எப்படி நம்ம வந்து ஒரு அட் ஸ்கேல் எப்படி பண்ணுறது, அதாவது 100-200 பண்ணுறதுனால இது வந்து ஒரு பெரிய டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் பண்ண போகிறதில்ல. இது வந்து நம்ம வந்து ஒரு 1000, 10,000, லட்சம் அந்த மாதிரி பண்ண முடியுமான்றது தான் இதோட நோக்கம். இது இன்றைக்கி வந்து நாங்கள் அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். இது வந்து போகக்கூடிய உங்களுக்கு ஃபர்தர் அப்டேட்ஸ் வரும் as we build this. இது இன்னும் அது எவ்வளோ வருஷம்னு பண்ணல. ஐடியலி இது வந்து நம்ம அந்த டிமாண்டை மீட் பண்ணுற வரையும் we will build it together jointly, சேர்ந்து பண்ணுறக்கூடிய ஒரு முயற்சி.
கேண்டிடேட்ஸ் வந்து அவங்க எப்படி உங்களை கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க? எப்படி
இது வந்து ஒன்று வந்து இந்த ப்ரெஸ்ஸு இவங்கள்ட்ட பேசுகிறதே வந்து இதை வந்து நீங்கள் மாணவர்கள் மத்தியில் அதை எடுத்துன்னு போனோம். நாங்களும் வந்து சோஷியல் மீடியா அந்த வழியாகவும் ரீச் பண்ணுவோம். இதை தவிர அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட் வரும் ரெக்ரூட்டிங்க்கு, எங்களோட வெப்சைட் வழியாகவும் பண்ணுவோம். இதை தவிர நிறைய காலேஜஸ் அங்கேயும் வந்து நேர தொடர்பு எங்களுக்கு நிறைய இருக்குது. அது வழியாகவும் மாணவர்களை வந்து டைரெக்டாக அப்ரோச் பண்ணுவோம்.
உங்களோட ப்ரொவின்ஸில் வந்து இயர்லி எவ்வளோ சார், எத்தனை பேர் சார்?
என்னோட ஆசை கேட்குறீங்க. இது வந்து நம்ம வந்து வருஷத்துக்கு ஒரு 20-30,000 பண்ண முடிஞ்சதுன்னா அட்லீஸ்ட் நம்ம வந்து அந்த ஒரு டிமாண்டுக்கு நம்மளால் பண்ண முயற்சியில் ஒரு வித்தியாசம் வரும் அப்படின்றது தான் முயற்சி. 1 லட்சம் பண்ணால் அதை விட பெட்டர், பட் கடினம்ன்றது என்னோட வியூ.